YouTube is a juggernaut of entertainment in the modern era, and it's reigned supreme for many years. It still remains the largest video sharing platform to date with 300,000 hours or 34 years of content uploaded daily. With this much traction on the platform, surely videos are bound to slip through the cracks. This is where a deranged man known as Justin Mohn comes in, who took the phrase broadcast yourself a bit too literal. On January 30th, 2024, during the afternoon, a video was uploaded to YouTube by a 32-year-old man named Justin Mohn. This video was 14.5 minutes long, and it opens up with a disturbed man holding a head in a plastic bag as he exclaims, "This is the head of Mike Mohn, his own father."
This is the head of Mike Mohn, a federal employee of over 20 years, and my father.
He showcases his head for about 10 seconds and proceeds to speak a manifesto into his camera for the remainder of the video. After a few hours of this video's uploading, Justin's own mother would walk into the first floor bathroom and find her husband's body on the floor. Police were swiftly contacted to this small home in another town, in which after arriving, the instruments used for these acts were found. These objects being a machete and a large kitchen knife that resided inside of a bathtub. The police would later discover Mike Mohn's head inside of a plastic bag lying dormant in a pot, according to USA Today. Now, by the time this was being uncovered, Justin Mohn had already fled the scene in his father's vehicle, but while he was driving to Fort Indian Town Gap, which is 100 miles away from the scene, investigators had pinged his phone, which alerted the police department that he was in fact in that area. After tracking him down, it was realized that he had jumped the fence bordering a large military facility, and he would later be chased on foot and taken into custody. Now, you may be asking, why'd he do it? Well, he had incredibly strong opinions that he violently enforced if he felt that you were against the country. His father was a federal employee of over 20 years, and since Justin Mohn felt that the federal government was at war with the American citizens, he decided to put an end to his own father, claiming that he was a treacherous one and he would occupy the lowest pits of hell, which is a direct reference to Dante's Inferno. The ninth circle of Dante's Inferno is characterized by extreme coldness and the guilty being frozen in lakes of ice for their own betrayal of family and others they shared special bonds with. Pretty fucking ironic coming from this guy. Now that I went over all the information inside of this video, I'm gonna go very in depth about the video itself, and it gets crazy, people. It gets absurd. I mean, the things I'm about to tell you right now, and I'm about to quote, you're in for a wild ride, okay? So it literally kicks off with him holding his father's head like a science fair project, stating that that will be you if you're fed or you stand against what he's gonna do, which is purely insane, right? And he does it very nonchalantly. So at that point, his neurons are not neuroning. And then he talks about how his dad's in hell is in the bottom circle or bottom layer of hell, which is referencing Dante's Inferno, on how it's a lakes of ice, and that's where the traitors are. This is coming from the guy who just betrayed his own father's trust. And then after that, he states that he has something called Mohn's militia. So I don't know if he actually has a militia. I wouldn't know. But it's safe to say he just might. But then I kind of don't believe it, because we're going to go on to that a little bit later. He says that the Mohn's militia should capture feds. They should, get information out of them. They should do a whole bunch of shit to federal agents. And then he goes on to take a swig of water, which I thought this was pretty weird. Reason being, because I stream for 4 to 5 to 6 hours, and usually about 20 to 30 minutes in, you take a swig of water. Now I'm under the impression that this was not his first take. This was like take 858 of him doing this. Again, that's just my opinion. I have no way of proving this, but the fact that you're taking a swig of water 30 to 40 seconds into the video goes to show you probably held your own father's head inside that bag like 300 times, okay? He's a pretty crazy guy. And he does it twice inside this take, at least. And then he goes on to, I'm not even joking, okay? It's really crazy, okay? So he goes and he starts saying that if you are ex-military or part of the National Guard, you should join his cause. He starts e-begging a civil war. Okay, e-begging a civil war. I have never heard such a thing before. He e-begs a civil war. He's truly lost it. After that, he then says something. This part made me laugh. He says that, this part made me laugh my ass off, yo. I'm about to tell you it right here. He says that Philadelphia, he doesn't want Philadelphia. This is where this guy resides, and he does not want Philadelphia. We know Philadelphia. We all know Philadelphia is, right? We know that place. Okay. He doesn't want it to become lawless like the other places. And what are you talking about? Philadelphia is one of the most dangerous places on the planet, not just in the US. What are you talking about? He doesn't want it to become lawless. Do you actually live in Philadelphia, or are you visiting? It's one of the top 5 most dangerous places in the entire world, okay? No one wants to live in Philly. Philly's the worst. What are you talking about? He doesn't want it to be lawless. If Philly's not lawless, then what is it? I don't understand it. I couldn't get it, yo. This is coming from a New Yorker wearing Baltimore, telling you that Philly is one of the worst places ever. Trust me, yo. Trust me. And if you don't believe me, just look up the stats, yo. Look at the stats. Then he starts begging for like a security force to protect him. And then he says that he's doing this to protect the future. And I'm going to quote him, protect our kids. Now, I may be jumping to conclusions here, but if you're 32 years old, living with your parents, and you're driving your own dad's car, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you don't got no kids. That's just me. Okay, I'm going to kind of assume you ain't got no kids. So I don't know whose kids you're trying to protect, but surely they ain't yours. Going off of that, he then says that he's the president of the United States under martial law. I don't know what this has to do with Tekken. Okay, that was stupid. But like, no, you're not the it's not the president, and it's like you're losing it. And then he says that he starts putting out bounties, people. He starts putting out $1 million bounties. Okay, another assumption I'm gonna make here. If you live with your parents and you're driving your dad's car and you're 32 years old, I think it's safe to assume you don't got $1 million. I'm just, I think you don't got $1 million. Maybe he does. Hey, maybe it's like it's just like some secret. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just like trying to live poor. You ever seen those memes where like the rich guy lives poor? The rich guy lives humble. He lives humble. He doesn't have the Gucci. He don't got none of that. He's living humble. So that's why he doesn't have a car or a license at like 32 years old. And that's why he's living with his mom, eating canned food out of a microwave. He's living humble, He's gotta keep the diamonds in the vault, baby. Something tells me this guy does not have millions of dollars. He starts putting out bounties and like name dropping people, and then he name drops a judge, and he says that he puts a $100,000 bounty on his head. Okay, is what he does. Puts a $100,000 bounty on this judge's head, and then drops his addy. I don't know about you, but if I'm that judge, you could build a house out the bricks I'm sweating. Yeah, I'd have piss running down my leg. It's like, damn, $100,000, he put a bounty? Because I know people in Philly that'll do it for $5, let alone $100,000. Whew. And then after that, he starts showing his dad's head again. And then after that, he says that anybody that reports on it, I guess in a negative light, or that like it's part of news and they don't cover it the way he does, they'll put a target on their back. With that being said, come here. I don't like this anymore. Yeah, so, guys, that's the end of the video. Like, favorite shit, most welcome to the comment, subscribe, and your boy, Cold Raven. Peace.